Now, Orang, did you have something to share?
Yeah, if you want me, if we can pass
Yeah.
the cause, of course I do. This is special for all of us. Listen to this one. Show us the way, O Lord, and let us walk in thy path. There seems to be the right way to live and the wrong way. You can make a practical test. When you live the right way, things seem to work out well for you. When you live the wrong way, things seem to not work out badly for you. You seem to take out life about what you're put into it. If you disobey the law of nature, your chances are that you will be unhealthy. If you disobey the spiritual and the moral laws, the chances are that you will be unhappy. By following the laws of the nature and the spiritual laws of honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love, you can expect a reasonably healthy and happy life. I pray for all the Bible lovers that they may try to live the right way. I pray that everyone may follow the path that leads to a better life. Jacob.
Thank you, Orang. Very nice. Hmm.
I got a special for you on Bauji Day.
On Bauji?
Oh, wow. Very. I got
Good.
emails from the
Tell us.
blow. Huh?
On Bauji? Yeah? Tell us now. Sure.
I can't. It's 20 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, never. Okay. Save it then. Okay.
I just want to tease you. Bye-bye.
Uh,
Hey, Baba.
dear Baba.
It looks like there's some smoke in New Jersey there with Prakash. Gotten all the way over the East Coast.
Our skies are clear. We've sent it all to you folks.
Yeah, look at happened with Prakash there.
I don't know what happened today. It's something with my camera. I mean, I was wondering how to adjust this. But there is light behind, which I like
Can
it
you wipe it
actually.
off a little bit?
I think Parkash is the side effects of the fire.
I know. There's something is
After
good.
effects of it.
Hmm. It's very ethereal.
Yeah, it's. I guess I don't know what to do, but-
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
Jeff, do you know what happened to Alan?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him lately.
You
Alan
know,
Panukian. Huh?
What?
Adrian is having a concert tomorrow night, not on our Zoom, but yeah, tomorrow evening. We should. I
He
should
hasn't been here for a
Oh,
while.
Yeah, I know. I miss him.
Sure.
He's he's the night's entertainment. The late night. Babs, how are you doing?
Oh, well, unmuted. Let's see. I'm doing good.
Nothing turned up there or anything? Any flashes from the infinite?
I did my taxes today. I'm
Oh.
surviving.
Oh,
I was just lovely,
our condolences.
lovely rainy season here, and it's
That's
always
a flash from down under.
Costa Rica. Mm. Yeah.
I have a nice message from Baba here.
Yeah,
Short one.
a little
I
louder
think
though, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Let me.
Oh,
try.
I got it. Yeah.
This one is called. The title of this is Eternal Now. So it goes like this. This is taken from Life at its Best, page 56. Through enslavement to the temporary and the passing, man deprives himself of the eternal and the lasting. Each moment with which man is confronted, can either tighten the grip of the false or deliver him to the truth. God is the only reality, and He is the fountainhead of all love, beauty, peace, and happiness. Even in and through the fleeting now of the false, God is eternally inviting man to himself, affirming himself as the truth of man's being. Those who dare to see and love God in everyone and everything experience him as the everlastingly immediate presence. Only when his mind is utterly detached from the false is it possible for man to disentangle himself from the repetitive clutches of the fleeting moment. Then and only then can he become established in the eternal now, which everlastingly includes the eternal past and the eternal future. The eternal I am is an unfailing assurance of the only reality which ever was. I heard some sound, so maybe I'll read this again. The eternal I am is an unfailing assurance of this only reality which ever was, is, and will be. So it further goes, the way to peace and fulfillment in union with God, the divine beloved, is a daring dive into the eternal now, not by the fruitless surveys of the past, nor by elusive longings for the future, not by enslavement to the fleeting moment, but by staking everything for God. Is it possible for you to experience yourself as the illimitable ocean of love? Here and nowhere else is the final solution of all your problems. Love born in the truth liberates without binding and fulfills without overpowering. It is a pure blessing, not only for yourself, but for each and all, forever and ever, in the eternal now. Jai Baba.
Oh,
Beautiful.
thank you, Prakash. That was.
That was from Life at its Best.
Yeah, page 56.
Yeah.
That's
That
one of
was
the
really
greatest
nice.
books, I think. It's a beautiful collection of wonderful messages of Baba.
Etzion, I want to thank you for coming. I'm glad that you are here. To, I'm looking forward to your talks on Monday and Wednesday. But it's nice to get a little preview of who you are, and I know you're staying up so late. Maybe this is normal for you, but
No,
thank you.
not every night.
Yeah, I heard your name very often at Sion. A lot of emails going back and forth back in the day. I mean, not between you and me, but I was part of one of those, you know, email lists. And then you used to sort of, go back and forth on some Baba messages.
Yes, I remember too.
Yeah.
Talking about the Baba talk from 20 years ago.
Yeah, Baba Talk. Yes, yes. List server. Yeah, something to do with the list
The
server.
listserv.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dates back to almost early 2000 and late 90s.
I want to just mention to anybody who comes to sharing regularly that tomorrow instead of sharing is going to be we're collecting questions to present at the meeting about opening Meher Center. So tomorrow is just, but it's at that meeting as at the same time that sharing normally is. So yeah, so hope to catch most of you so you're not surprised. And I guess that meeting should be interesting. People, it's a big subject, I guess, when and how to open the center.
Well, let me know when it happens, and then I'll just take the car
Just
and then
come.
start go to the center.
What time? What time is that? Is that 3:00?
Yes, 3 to 5. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, it's just that meeting is just collecting everybody's questions and concerns and that kind of thing tomorrow. Yeah, and then the meeting with the board happens on the 3rd of October.
Hey, I have something that might be interesting to you folks. um, one second. Um, a Cherokee elder was teaching his grandchildren about life. He said to them, are you able to hear me at all? All right?
Yeah, yeah, fine.
Okay.
Hmm.
A fight is going on inside of me. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One wolf is fear, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is joy, peace, love, hope, sharing, humility, kindness, benevolence, friendship, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside of every other person too. The grandchildren thought about it for a minute, and then one child asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? His grandfather replied, the one you feed.
The one you feed.
Oh, that's beautiful, Jeff. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And, it's interesting that, because Darwin Shaw was always talking about, we wind up feeding a lot of the negative things in us when we could be feeding the divine side of ourselves. Kind of moving the whole operation from our kind of narrow side to the divine side of ourselves. And in fact, he said that to focus on that, our divine qualities, continuously, if it's possible. Anyway,
That's kind of like remembering Baba continuously,
yeah,
pretty much. Same thing.
yeah, the divine qualities are really just extensions of Baba, you might say. Empathy, forgiveness, compassion, generosity. New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I thought I'll quickly share this. I mean, yesterday, I think we talked about, how often we tend to react sort of negatively to something and how to prevent it by just remembering Baba before you sort of act or react or whatever.
Yeah.
And today, it's funny. I mean, I was half dozing, but still had this earbuds in my ears, and Erich is talking about various things, love, this, and all that stuff. And I was half asleep. I mean, I couldn't hear most of it anyway. And suddenly I woke up because the phone rings, and I answer the phone, and then Shailaja says something, and my reply, obviously with the sound happening in my ears, was rather loud, quite loud. So I was replying to her because I could hear what she's trying to ask. And it was loud, what I said to her. It happened first and she kept quiet. And then again, she was trying to ask something and then I answered. This time also it was loud enough because again, the sound of Erich speaking in my ears. And this time, I tell you one thing, there was no way I could remember Baba or anything. And I just reacted pretty strongly, saying, I mean, I was a little upset, So, I mean, why I'm saying that is because the time one has before one can react is very, very short.
Yeah.
And, and that bothered me later. And I was seeing how can one address this? Because a lot of times our reaction times are so quick. I mean, the chances of bringing Baba together or saying Satchitananda Paramanand and those, Meher Baba Vidyanand. You don't have time for that. I mean, we don't give time for such things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the beautiful thing is that when you love somebody, it doesn't really separate you from them essentially. It's when you have these kind of thoughts around strangers that you really, get separated. But I mean, Shala Ja is, your love just remains there, and it's a little reaction on the surface.
No, she didn't react. She said, okay, this guy is just out of sorts right now, and then leave him. So,
but what I mean is your reaction is just a kind of on the surface of an ocean of love that you have between you, But with some people, the reaction can capsize the whole boat, because there isn't any love to kind of support.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
whole thing. That's,
I like that. I mean, what you just
Yeah.
said, love to support. Yeah.
Yeah. People that we share love with allow us to be to work on these things without getting punished.
Yeah. That's correct.
They can still hang in there with us.
Gotta go fix dinner for the crew. So Jai Baba, everybody.
Yeah.
See you
Jai
tomorrow.
Baba.
Good. And your air quality is all right? Oh.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
perfect.
they had a lot of rain, and they say actually it rains so much in some places there is a huge some chance of landslides sometime to come.
Wow.
It's either this or that, I guess.
Janaki, what's happening there? Anything that?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I was listening to something last week. I don't remember if it was Effort and Grace or one of these late nights, but somebody was talking about, I think, Mara, who said if you ask Baba and remember him constantly, if you ask Baba for something and remember him constantly, he will give it to you. Does that ring a bell with anyone? Because I can't figure out where that would have come from.
I mean, there's a good chance he might, but it's not 100% chance. Because he's going to give you what is best for your growth.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, did I hear that right? Or I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing that happened, though. This is interesting. This was back in around 1976. And I had been in India for about 4 months. And I was just coming back down to my last day. I went out to Marazad. And, I had a rickshaw coming for me after the morning session. So the morning session with Erich was over, and I went over to say goodbye to Mara. A number of us went over to say goodbye. No, things were just breaking up at Mara's porch, and I said, "I'm leaving. I'm going by. I'm have to go back." And Mara looked down at me from the porch, and she said, "Jeff, you're not ready to go yet." And she turned to a photograph of Baba that was on the porch and said a few things, And then Dennis McCabe was there, and he said, "Oh wow, Baba never refuses Mary. You're going to get to stay for Baba's birthday." This was like a couple of days before Baba's birthday, but I'd come to the end of my visa. So I said, yeah, thanks, Dennis, but I gotta go. And I was feeling terrible. I was really in grief to have to leave after being there for 4 months. So I bid everybody goodbye, and I get in my rickshaw and I go into town to the place where I was staying. This is before the Pilgrim Center. And I get my stuff from this little place. And then this guy comes out, Scott O'Neill, and he says, "Wow, just terrible, Jeff. You have to leave just a couple of days before Baba's birthday and everything, and and he's kind of looking at me, and then he pulls out this piece of paper that comes from Adi Kairani and says, Jeff, you know, your reservations have been changed. You can stay for Baba's birthday. In other words, my reservations were changed.
Wow.
I never made any, you know, I never requested because I was past my visa. I had my plane flights, everything, and it was all moved so I was able to stay for Baba's birthday.
Wow.
Like, how did it happen? I had no intention of staying longer. I knew my time was up. So Mara can do things. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes what she asks of Baba happens.
Yeah.
You know, I have another instance like that.
And I
Jeff.
was able to kind of accept, I was able to accept that, Baba gave me a reprieve. He gave me a couple of more days. I stayed for Baba's birthday, and I left India with much less grief than I would have, because I knew that Baba and Mara had helped out. So it's not impossible.
Oh.
But what if I was supposed to meet somebody somewhere? What if I was, what if I was
Right.
going to stop and see somebody in New York,
Right.
But
Right.
anyway.
I mean, I know one story.
See you, Lenita. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I know one story where somebody I know, his wife was diagnosed with a serious problem, cancer, and everybody, all the doctors, the famous ones out there in the city, said that, well, she has only a couple of months at the most. And then the husband of hers was very disturbed. And I mean, he's a great Baba lover. I mean, I can't believe, I mean, so he definitely is very dear to Baba, and he loves Baba so much. So, but somehow he couldn't see, he wanted to pray for her. So he went to Mehrabad, and at the Samadhi prayed, I don't know what he prayed for, but he did say that I prayed for her. And then lo and behold, I mean, she is living, and then it's been almost 1 year or more from the time the doctor said she would not be there any longer. So she obviously is going through treatment and everything,
yeah.
But she continued to live. So things do happen, I mean, when you pray.
Yeah.
And like Sister Mani said, if you pray for others, then the chances of something working out are very high.
The percentages go up.
Yeah, praying for others.
Yeah. I mean, I feel if it would help someone in their deepening their love, I mean, if they still have something of love to do that would draw them closer to Baba, sometimes Baba will turn the key.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly, yeah. Hey, so
Yeah.
I might, go ahead. What?
Sorry, Jeff, for the interruption.
Yeah.
I had a lot of experience with Madam I with regarding to my brother-in-law's life. So my brother-in-law and my sister shifted to Australia, Sydney in the year 1983. So one day, my sister's birthday was on August 15th. So my mother, normally in August month, those days, I always used to spend time with the woman medley. So I received those days no cell phones and all except for a trunk call. So when I was in the MPC and I was going to Merazat, Bauji was waiting at the petrol bunk at there. He says, your mother has called, your brother-in-law is in life is in danger. and she asked you to pray to Baba at the Samadhi and also at Mehrazad, and she asked us to pray, and you just go and meet Aloba and Mehra. So my mother has given me the sweets to give to one sweet Mehra used to like a lot. So I went. So normally my time to meet Mehra was always says when you are in group, please don't come. You come exactly at 1:10, everybody goes to the lunch. That day she sent a word through, those days Hidar was that's what she called. Mehra wants to see you at 1:10 at her porch. I went there. So she said, I heard the news that, but nothing to worry about. There's no danger to his life. There's no danger to life. And everything you know on 25th August 1985. Then my sister, when I thought probably Madam says means nothing will happen. Then we came back to the Hyderabad. Then I realized that my mother was very anxious about because I don't know whether it was an accident or this thing, but they were worried whether cancer or TB. Ultimately, nothing was there. And she has predicted on 25th, the test report came.
Yeah.
Even those people didn't know that report. And same thing, sometimes we also wrong and we make a wrong interpretation of the words. A similar incident was happened when one of the Baba lovers, Mallesh, was suffering with the cancer. When the family asked, why don't you ask Meramai? I asked Meramai. Then Meramai gave me the water, which Baba's water, Baba water. She said, you give this water to him to drink so that he'll be relieved from the pain. We thought, then people said, no, nothing happened. We asked, everything will be all right. He'll be relieved. Then he suddenly died. Then we realized, relieved from all suffering and pain means he'll be away. They know everything. That's what I feel. Right?
Yeah. No, all this is definitely can happen, especially when it aligns with love, loving Baba. And you know what? I think I'm going to take an early exit myself, unless there was something, unless Janaki is going to serve us some chai or something, or maybe some cake. I mean,
Aw.
You're hungry for sweets.
I am. Yeah, I mean, unless there's something, um, yeah, something I can think of, or you folks can.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to hear Etzion and Etzion's story. So we won't ask him any questions about how he came to Baba or how he connected with Kerry Ben Shammai from Israel, but we're going to hear all that on Monday and Wednesday, right? You say
Yes.
something like that. So
Oh, that's him. Okay, who went
yeah,
to Ben Shammai. Okay.
yeah.
I remember that story you mentioned earlier. Yeah, beautiful. Wow.
So I think I will, Babs. I hope you're having a good time down there in Costa Rica.
Definitely.
My folks loved Costa Rica. They used to go down there
Yeah.
for their vacations.
Yeah. Tropical forests and beautiful beaches and
Yeah,
lots of things.
yeah, boy. Yeah, so Nasreen, Ellie, and Dinesh, Peter, that,
Yes, yes, we're here.
yeah,
We're here to listen more stories from you.
yeah. She's got such a beautiful voice. There's just,
Thank you.
that's a lovely voice.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. This is awesome.
Oh, which Peter is that?
Peter
Oh,
Goodman from Myrtle Beach,
Peter
from like
Goodman.
right down the
Yeah,
road. Yeah,
we
I
were
love
just
these.
together a half hour
Yes,
ago.
I love these. I love these late night chats and like all
Yeah,
these stories. Priceless. They really are.
yeah, yeah.
Today, the
No story is coming to mind, but I got, a lot of different stories. There's a beautiful story. Maybe I'll tell this to Etzion. Um, and then there was a guy. There was a guy named Tim Busfield. He's a Baba lover, and he came down to this in the 70s. He came down to the Myrtle Beach, and he was going to live here. He came down from Michigan, and he was, planning to be here and live in Myrtle Beach, and we were roommates. And we did some skits and things at different times on the center, but but one day he went to see Kitty, and Kitty said, well, he comes home and he says, Jeff, I'm, Kitty says, I gotta go. I'm out of here. He says, he went in to see Kitty, and Kitty says, oh, you're the actor now. Now, yeah, you must get your training, and you're going to go and be very successful. And she kind of just read out his life. You're the actor. So he's a young kid, and like he comes home and says, I gotta go. So he goes to Nashville and studies there for a couple of years and goes to Hollywood. And just like Kitty said, they snatched him up right away, and he was in all of these movies and television shows and everything. Baba said Kitty said he would never struggle for work, and she predicted a painful period that he was going to have to endure. But anyway, so now he became an actor, and he used to come back about once a year to the center. And at one point, he said he was going to shooting a movie in Israel. And Kitty says, "Oh, well then you must look up Carrie Ben Shammai, when you're there." So he kind of took the address and everything and her name. And so when he was in Israel, at one point during the movie shooting, he he decided to look up Carrie Ben Shammai, and he called a number, and Carrie Ben Shammai, wasn't she the wife of a famous rabbi or the daughter of a famous rabbi?
A daughter of the first president of Jewish Orthodoxy.
Okay, and so that was her father. So apparently she was kind of pretty forthright about her belief in Baba, right? So but anyway, so he calls this number, and the person says, "Oh, we don't, you don't want to meet her and everything," and hangs up, and so.
Which year was this?
What's that?
Which year was this?
It could have been the early 80s, something like that.
No.
I don't know.
Carrie Ben Shammai.
Huh?
Her husband passed away 79 or 78, and she was not well already at that time. So she couldn't talk.
Anyway, he calls the next day, and they're very reluctant to give him anything, but he gets the address, and so he hails a taxi and gives the address where he wants to go, and the cab driver is very reluctant to go to that part of the city. I don't know, and but he convinces him to go, and he goes there to this place, and it's like a boarding house or something, as he tells me.
That was a home in the east side of Jerusalem, the Arabics. That's why I was reluctant to go there. It was 1980. 1980.
So he told a taxi driver, well, stop here. I'm just going to go inside and see this lady, and I'll come back. And the cab driver says, no, I'm not staying here. Give me my money. And he took off. So he comes to this place. He kind of describes it as a boarding house. And he he goes there, and the person's really reluctant to allow him to see Carrie Ben Shammai. But he's a kind of a confident young guy, and he finally they give him a key, and so she's down this hallway. So he goes down this hallway, and I guess it's kind of dark and a little bit scary. But you know, he's a kind of a fearless guy, and he knocks on the door, and no answer. He knocks on the door, no answer, and finally he uses the key, and he opens the door, and in the room there's this woman has the back to the room, and she's looking out a window, and he kind of clears his throat, ma'am, ma'am, and she turns around, scowls at him, and you know, but he says, you know, I'm here. Kitty Davies sent me here to say hello to you, and she falls at his feet and says, I felt Baba had left me, and I had just asked him for a sign. And that's when Tim Busfield arrives. So she's so touched that, you know, that Baba had sent somebody to send her his love. So that was a story about Tim Busfield and Carrie Ben Shammai. So you knew her during that period, right, Etzion?
Of course, I knew her from 72 when I met Baba at her apartment, till she passed away.
Yeah.
86.
86, yeah.
But what was a story, she had to stay in that place in East Jerusalem for a few days or a couple of weeks before she was transported to a permanent home in the coastal area.
Yeah.
This is some Baba story. Sorry,
huh? What's that?
It took some time for her adopted son. She had an adopted son.
Yeah.
Of her husband. Husband was an Orthodox Jew as well. He was a scholar, but he was not a famous man. But
her father was, yeah.
Her father was a very important Jewish personality in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Remarkable human being.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd tell you this, you know, tell you that you get a particular story. I had thought Baba had left me, and I had just asked Baba for a sign.
But was the truth was, I mean, all the time I was looking after her.
Yeah.
She was not abandoned at all for 1 minute.
Say that again?
She was not abandoned for 1 day. She was all the time being taken care of.
Yeah. No, she just
but she was very depressed and very upset, and she had she suffered from emotional upheavals. She had very difficult times.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to go and just hang out, all of you.
Jai Baba, Jeff.
Yeah, Jai Baba, Yasmin, and Prakash.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Etzion, I'll see you around. Yeah. Peter, Ganesh. Yeah.
All right, guys. Jai Baba, everybody. And
Prakash.
I'll also take off. Yeah. Go ahead,
When is Ramakrishna is coming? Tomorrow?
Yeah, he's speaking Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be 8:30 your time. Yeah, 8:30 in the night.
8:30 in the night. Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
It's going to be good because he's going to talk about the musts and Manunash in Hyderabad.
In Hyderabad.
Yeah, all about Hyderabad.
Yeah.
So,
I think he has written a book called Baba's Feet in Hyderabad, and the importance
Oh,
of that. But
yeah.
really,
I asked Pani for some pictures if he has.
yeah, they did all the
Yeah, yeah.
pictures album.
So once I get them, then when he talks, maybe I'll share a couple here and there. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think they did on Manonash, they did
Mhm.
a, Funny got that, Manonash,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing,
yeah. I
film.
asked him. So yeah, he
Yeah.
should send it.
And
And today I heard a beautiful story. This is
yeah.
from Pratap Ahir's granddaughter. So
Oh, who, Mayor Nidhi.
yeah,
Yeah.
once she was going, she was on Mehrabad Hill, and she always had this urge to, distribute prasad, like
Yeah.
everybody does there. And she didn't know how to do and all that stuff, but she had this longing in her to do that. And then she asked her father, I think, who was next to her at that time, how can she go about doing that? Then he said, well, I mean, you have to stay here for a longer time if you want to do that. That's the answer she gets. And then that she has to put her name somewhere in the book and everything. But anyway, she goes towards the samadhi. And as she nears the samadhi, she was waiting there and then, following the prayers and everything. And suddenly this lady, who was actually distributing the prasad at that time, she comes to her and says, look, I mean, suddenly something happened and I have to go. Can you help distribute prasad for 15 or 20 minutes?
Wow.
That's how she gets a chance. And I was
Yeah.
always looking
That
for
is called
you.
longingness. If you got
Yeah,
longingness, definitely Baba will feel
yeah.
the longingness. Yeah.
All right, it's time.
Okay.
So I'll see everybody. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. All.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai. Avatar Meher Baba
Meher Baba
Jai.
ki
Avatar mein
jai.
Baba ki jai.
ki Jai.
Jai
Jai.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Baba. Bye. Jai Baba.
Yeah.